Hi, I'm Terry Kolath. I'm here today with Doug Heatherly of Royal Bonnet. We're talking about astronomy for our monthly What's Going On in the Sky show for television only. Thanks for joining me, Doug.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, we're going to be looking at July now, and you always are able to tell us what we can be looking for as we look in the morning, maybe as we look at night. What's happening in July?
Okay, there's always things, but I think from just without an instrument, okay, without a telescope
Right.
or without binoculars, the things to see in the night sky will be the planets, the moon, and the bright stars. And we'll talk about a little bit about all of those, because in July, those are the things that are going to dominate. And of course, the big dominating thing all night long is Saturn and Jupiter.
Oh, okay.
And they'll basically be in the pattern of what they call the ecliptic, the path of the sun.
Which you taught us. Put
Right.
your arms out.
Right? Yep. So it's basically the path of the sun, and you'll see rising basically at dark is Saturn, and then Jupiter's a little bit ahead of it. They're both bright. Well, Jupiter's particularly bright, and Saturn is obvious, so you can find them. You won't be able to see the rings of Saturn without a telescope or binoculars. However, in the morning, if you're an early morning riser, and that's getting to be more early morning now, you can see the morning star, or Venus, and it'll be closer to the rising sun. And you'll be able, for maybe the first half of July, we'll be able to see the morning star, or Venus. It will then pass behind the sun. In probably about a month or 6 weeks, we'll see it as the evening star.
So we've just passed the solstice, the longest day.
That's right.
The shortest night. And now we're getting a little bit less daylight every day.
Right.
But we still have very early sunrises.
We do.
And that's when we're going to see Venus.
That's when you'll see Venus.
Oh, so wonderful.
But in the evening, you'll see Jupiter and Saturn.
And
So-
is that right as the sun is setting?
Yeah, basically as the sun sets, because they're going to be up all night. Okay, so you'll basically see them all night long, tracking across the sky.
So even if you're a night owl,
Yes.
you know, look when the sun's right after the sun goes down. But if you wake up in the night, look out and look at these planets that are so far away, and you can see them with the naked eye. So what about stars?
Okay, that's an interesting one. If you pick out maybe the five brightest stars in the evening sky, so it'll essentially be the first few that come out. And they have old Arabic names, Arcturus and Vega and Altair and Antares and Deneb. And the thing to look for is not the fact that they're bright, but that they have color.
Oh, that's so
Okay,
interesting.
and the colors aren't artificial. If you look at them, Arcturus, some have described it as kind of the color of a ginger ale soda. Okay, Vega has a hint of blue in it. Okay,
And we can see this.
you can see it. Now it may. The problem with all observation is you have changes in the atmosphere, so you may see it, and then it looks like it goes away. You may have thought you saw it, but it's really there. Altair is yellow. Okay, more like our sun. Okay, Deneb is more white, just brilliant white. And Antares is an orange reddish color. And they're all very important to astronomers because they tell us what the surface temperatures are of the stars.
The color does?
The colors do. It's like looking at a candle. And the candle has a little blue spot in the middle, and that's hotter than the flame around it.
Okay.
So it's the same idea, and astronomers have used that to basically say the surface temperature of a star is such and such.
So it indicates the heat of the star, not the motion.
Not the motion. This is more related to actual composition and size and what the star is emitting. Yeah.
And it stays that color. That is so interesting.
Right.
And these are the most prominent stars in July or in general?
Well, in July, because year-round, what you'll find is a different set of stars.
Good.
But in the July time period, these are 5 bright ones that we would see. And if you look carefully and have the right atmospheric conditions, you can actually pick up the color.
And the good part is we have a whole month to look.
We have a whole month to look. Now, the way to find the stars, and that's important because a lot of times you're looking and say, which one am I looking at?
Right.
The easiest way is if you have access to a smartphone or an iPad or something like that, Penny and the iPad team will help you get an app on there you can just simply point it at the sky and it'll show you what you're looking at.
Oh, so that's great because we have these clinics, iPad on Saturday with Penny Modridge and the gang, and then on Monday afternoons with Patty Waters, we have an
Right.
Android clinic, so everybody can get help. Doug, why is it important that we ask someone to help us if we're a little concerned about getting apps?
Well, I wish to say all the apps were equal, but they're not, and some of them are actually a little subtle. They want to charge you money without you knowing that that's what they're doing. So you need to get one. I use one called Sky Safari or Skylight or something like that. But get one that's the Sky Safari I have found to be very good, and you know, you can buy upgrades, but it's pretty obvious if you're going to do that.
So then all you do is you take your smartphone, you go out
And you point it.
and you point it and you go, okay,
That's what
the
I'm looking
star-
at. And it'll tell you the name of the star, it'll tell you details about it, how far away it is, all this kind of stuff.
It's so wonderful what technology can do for us.
Technology has really made the sky accessible,
Oh, it
when the
has.
night lights have often made it not accessible.
And so we have the best of both worlds. We have the technology to make things accessible. We have Doug Heatherly of Royal Bonnet to tell us what we want to be accessible.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug.
You're welcome.